Mr. John Hodgman, such a pleasure to share the stage with you.
The pleasure is only mine, exclusively mine.
I'm
so excited to be here.
I can't have any of it?
No, you can't.
No, okay.
It's all mine.
Okay.
No, this is a show that was incredibly important to me in the past, and I'm so happy to be part of its bright future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
So great. And it's so nice to be here with all of you and to see you here on the radio. If you're listening at home and you can't see me, I'll describe myself. I'm an incredibly good-looking person, and I'm very skinny, and I'm very tall, and I'm also one of the world's most talented mandolin players. We're kind of a dime a dozen. My good looks are only marred by this ridiculous beard that I have on my face. I apologize. I know it's a terrible beard. I know. I see myself. My beard is like a pointy neck beard with a full Groucho on top, and on the side is epileptic ants climbing up my face. Many people have asked me, why did you grow that beard? And most of them are my wife. And the answer is obvious. I grew my beard for the same reason any 45-year-old weird dad grows facial hair. It's a biological signal to the world that I am all done. It's a visual cue to the mating population that says, no, thank you. I no longer deserve physical affection. It is now time for me to turn to my weird dad hobbies like puns, brushing up on trivia about wars and bridges, and watching live broadcast television, and crying at the commercials. It's a sad. I don't feel like a grown-up because I live most of the time in Brooklyn, New York. I'm surrounded by young people, and New York is designed to keep you in a state of perpetual adolescence because you never have to learn to drive. You're always financially insecure. Even if you own your own apartment, it's an apartment. It's not a house. You know, it's a glorified dorm room. You don't have to learn how anything works. If anything breaks, you don't have to fix it. You just call the super or the landlord or some other surrogate daddy to come and do it for you. You don't need to know what a septic system is, and I don't know what a septic system is, and technically I own one. I own a nice little summer septic system in the country. It's attached to a home that my mom left to my wife and I when she passed away 15 years ago in Western Massachusetts, my home commonwealth. And I'm a 45-year-old grown man, but I don't know how house works. Some time ago, a noise started emerging from the woods behind our house, and it went on for 24 hours a day for 2 weeks, and it sounded like this. I'll do it one more time. And my wife and I are out there listening to this, and she turns to me with some alarm and says, "What is that?" I'm like, I don't know. A bird? It's probably a bird. The woods are full of junk animals. A bird or a tree frog. Was not a bird, was not a tree frog. That was the sound of our septic pump failing. It was very messy, very expensive. We had to call the septic daddy to come fix it. And you would think that I would have known something was wrong because days before the sound happened, something else happened. In my basement, there is a box on the wall that I later learned contained the controls to the septic system. And on top of the box, there's a red light, a police light, like on a squad car. And it went on. 4 days before the sound even started. It was filling my basement with red emergency light. And it's not like I didn't see it. I had to go down there to change the sheets in the dryer or whatever. But I would just look at it and go, huh. That's probably nothing. I think that we have to take some responsibility for the failure of the septic system because early on, this house gave us access to an incredible new technology that we were unfamiliar with called a garbage disposal. Because in New York City, you weren't allowed to have a garbage disposal. And we were so excited to have this disposal because to us it spoke of suburban luxury of our youth. And so when we got into this house, we went a little disposal crazy. My mom had left behind a whole pantry full of past-date foods, past-date cereal boxes, past-date cans of soup, and that's something you never want to see, because cans of soup are supposed to be immortal. You start thinking about your own death when you see a can of soup that's 5 years past date. It's like, no, you were supposed to live, dude. My wife decided she was going to clear all this out and put it all down the disposal, and so she did. She spent a whole summer afternoon opening up cans of soup and black olives and beans and just running them down the disposal. Hot summer afternoon, she's doing it. I'm sitting there at the kitchen table having a cocktail watching her. It was probably the most erotic moment in our marriage. And then she comes up to me and she's got these 5 boxes of Cheerios. She said, these 5 boxes of Cheerios are all 5 years past their sell date. And I'm like, yeah, what are you gonna do with them, honey? She said, I'm gonna dispose all them all. And I'm like, that's right, you are. And she did. Which is a terrible idea because it turns out when you put Cheerios down the disposal, especially 5 boxes of them, and you grind them up and you put a lot of water behind them, they don't go gently into that good night. They soak up that water, they soak it up and swell up, become a Cheerio tumor in your pipes. And then you have to call the plumber, which is always embarrassing enough because you've made a mistake, and then the plumber is going to say to you, what happened? And you'll have to say, we were just having a little fun. I'm sorry, Pipe Daddy. Now, I'm not a mandolin player, but I know 2 chords on the ukulele, and that allows me to play for you one perfect song about my home Commonwealth of Massachusetts. As far as I'm concerned, this is the Commonwealth State rock song of Massachusetts. It's by Jonathan Richman and the Modern Lovers. Roadrunner, roadrunner, going faster miles an hour. Gonna drive to the Stop and Shop with my radio on. Stop and Shop's the thing we have. I'm in love with Massachusetts and the neon when it's cold outside, and the highway when it's late at night. I got my radio on. I'm the Roadrunner. I'm in love with modern moonlight, Route 128 when it's dark outside. I'm in love with Massachusetts. I'm in love with the radio on. Helps me not be so lonely late at night. Helps me not feel so alone late at night. Don't feel so bad now I'm in the car. I don't feel so bad, I got my radio on. I'm the Roadrunner, that's right. Welcome to the spirit of 1956. Patient in the bushes next to 57. The highway's your girlfriend as you go by quick. Suburban trees, suburban speed, and it smells like heaven. I said Roadrunner once, Roadrunner twice. I'm in love with rock and roll. And I'll be out all night, that's right. Roadrunner, roadrunner, going faster miles an hour. Gonna drive right to the Stop and Shop. Gonna drive with my radio on. And me in love with modern moonlight. Me in love with modern rock and roll. Modern girls and modern rock and roll. I'm gonna drive with my radio on. I'm the Roadrunner. Now you sing, Modern Lovers. Radio on. Radio on. Now, why aren't you singing? That's your part. Chris, you haven't broken them in yet? All you gotta do is sing/shout. Radio on, radio on, radio on. I'm gonna sing other things, but you keep going. Here we go. Radio on. Radio on. Radio on. I got the AM. I got the car. I got the AM now. I got the car from Massachusetts now. I got the power of Massachusetts now. I got the power of the Pioneer Valley. I have the power of Brattleboro, Vermont. We don't own that yet, but we'll get there soon. I have the power of the Mohawk Trail, also known as Route 2. Route 2. Thank you very much for your kind attention, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Steele.
John Hodgman.